Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm Sean Boscal, State Director for AARP Oklahoma, and joining us is Joe Bonsall with the Oak Ridge Boys. We're so excited to have Joe with us today. We know, unfortunately, scams and fraud impact people, millions of Americans every day, impacting billions of dollars that are taken from unsuspecting customers every year. And the impact on families and their victims can be financially and emotionally devastating, especially for older Oklahomans. So what's been really exciting since 2019, ARP, the Fraud Watch Network, has collaborated with the Oak Ridge Boys to raise awareness about the epidemic of scams and frauds in our country. And there's one type of scam we frequently hear so much about on the Fraud Watch Network helpline, and that's celebrity imposter scams. So today I'm thrilled to bring someone who knows this subject very well, Joe Bonsall with the Oak Ridge Boys. Joe, thank you. We know you, William Lee, Dwayne, and Richard hear about all these types of scams all the time, and someone pretending to be a member of the Oak Ridge Boys, and you really want folks to be safe and be aware of those types of scams. Thanks for joining us, Joe.
Well, thank you, Sean. Let me say, first of all, thanks for having me on. It's good to see you again. We've done a lot of great work, I think, the last 3 years for Fraud Watch, AARP. And I've been honored to be a part. I know I've shot a lot of ads and commercials. We've taken different kinds of scams and elaborated upon them and what people can do or should do if they get involved in a scam like this. And unfortunately, we have a lot of bad actors in this country. And during this pandemic, especially, they've just been sitting back, laying back to see if they can reach out and scam people out of their hard-earned money or life savings. And a lot of times, the elderly are incredible targets of this awful activity. And so many people follow groups like the Oak Ridge Boys or anybody else. If you go through Twitter alone every day, there's some new account that looks like it's that looks like it's the Oak Ridge Boys, all of a sudden following you. And people get excited. Wow, the Oak Ridge Boys are following me back. And they start talking to this person who ain't us. And next thing you know, after some fan talk and some baloney that goes on, then they start asking these people for money, or they have a special need or a special charity or something that the Oak Ridge Boys are really behind, or Joe Bonsall's really behind, or Tim McGraw, or Faith Hill or somebody, or Garth Brooks. And it's not them, y'all. You've got to be cognizant. You've got to pay attention. Online, usually there's something that can tell you for sure if it's an authorized person. With Twitter, it's a little blue star. If you see the verified star, that's at Oak Ridge Boys. That's at Joe Bonsall. But if you see Joe Bonsall and the name is misspelled just a little bit, or Oak Ridge Boys without the Y and some numbers after it, and don't see the blue star, you're being scammed. You need to block them right away and report them.
Joe, I think that's some great tips. And there are so many important causes out there that need champions. So why is fighting frauds and empowering people to be aware about frauds and scams so important to you and the Oak Ridge Boys?
Well, when we first talked 3 years ago about coming on board, and they asked us if we would shoot a commercial. And you've played the commercial. I know you've seen it. Everybody has. Yeah. The Oak Ridge Boys for Fraud Watch Network. And when we were done with that commercial, I remember saying to your powers that be there, I think you might have been there too, Sean, and said, man, what can we do more? What more can we do than just this, public service ad? There's got to be more that we can do, and we're willing to do it because you just hate to see people scammed. I know this is off subject just a little bit, but one of the things that's bothering me lately is all the text scams. Yeah. I mean, my text, I don't know how they got my number. Hardly anybody knows my text. I get text every day from Costco or Walmart or American Express or FedEx or any one of them telling me that I've won a contest, that click on this line right here. Your $500 gift from Walmart is waiting. Please, people, look at these texts and realize the first thing you should do is look at the email address. You know what's up there in blue? Click on it. Look at the email address. You'll see right away, man, that ain't FedEx. And FedEx ain't giving you $500 for no reason at all. So don't click on the blue line. You could be opening yourself up to malware. You could be opening yourself up to more scamming or further scamming from these particular people. I don't know how they do this. I'm not technologically sound enough to know how these people are doing what they're doing. But boy, I've been getting texts. It's emails too. But I've been
Yeah.
getting a lot of text lately from people I know ain't who they say they are. And a lot of times, in this day and age, people say, whoa, a $500 gift waiting for me. There's no free lunch, y'all. There's no free $500 gift waiting for you. It's only more scams. So just be cognizant, man. Be aware.
Yeah.
You've got to make yourself aware of these things is the most important thing to not be scammed. And that's my opinion anyway.
You bet. Well, you want to share any experience you've had where people have impersonated or claiming to be you or the Oak Ridge Boys? And has that for sure happened?
I have blocked and reported probably 20 or 30 Joe Bonsalls. And the
Wow.
reason is a lot of people are aware enough to, if I hadn't seen it myself, to let me know there's a fake Joe Bonsall out there, and I'll go to that thing. And usually Twitter has been pretty good at getting rid of them or suspending their account when they see they're a fake. But there's so many out there, Sean. I mean, on my own Twitter account, you and I are both on Twitter together. We do it. On my own Twitter account, I've probably seen at least 50 fake Dirk Bentleys.
Yeah.
And that's just one artist.
Yeah.
I've gotten Dirk Bentley tweets like you wouldn't believe, and it ain't Dirk Bentley, man. It ain't him. And I know that right away. It's not him. But we got to educate people here to realize the difference between the actual celebrity and Dirk Bentley. And more than likely, Dirk Bentley's not following you anyway. So just be aware when you see these things, whether it comes by email or text. I've even gotten political things that aren't real political things on email and text, asking me for money. Click here,
Sure.
donate, give your credit card. Please don't do that. Give your social security number so you can pick up your free gift. Don't do it, y'all. Think, be cognizant. And if you suspect a scam, as we say at AARP Fraud Watch, you can stop a scam.
That's great for sure. Well, and it seems like that trap, once people start, you'll get an email to maybe donations to that cause or a private party or special tickets. And so people can really lose hundreds of dollars, and it's really awful. And so what are some tips there? I mean, do celebrities really reach out to fans directly? I mean, is that a good rule of thumb how does that work?
I think a good tip to see or to put in your head is the fact that the Oak Ridge Boys would never ask people for money.
Yeah.
Would never ask you to support a cause that we're for and give you a link to donate to it that wouldn't be us. We would never do any of that because of the scams right now and because of the bad actors out there. And so if you've got a celebrity ever asking you for money or to click here, to give there, again, I still think one of the best things you can do is look at that email address. You will know real quick if you click on that blue line, and you'll see some stupid, ridiculous email address that has nothing to do with a celebrity or any corporation that's saying they're going to give you something. Keep in mind, there are no free lunches. There's no free money. It doesn't happen. And for the most part, I can't imagine any celebrity asking you for money. I just can't see it happening. So I've had people tell me, oh, I followed that fake Joe Bonsall for a while and it wasn't you. And they were asking for money and asking for information and asking for my social security number. Oh, God help us. Please don't fall for it.
Yeah. So the answer, folks, listen, be very aware of imposter celebrity scams. They're happening a lot. We're seeing so many calls coming to ARP's Fraud Watch number helpline. And so be aware. And I think Joe's given everyone some great tips on making sure if you're following your favorite celebrity, what to look for and things to not do if they're asking for money as well. So these are really great tips, Joe. Just want to remind everyone we have a lot of great resources at the ARP Fraud Watch Network. And I know there's a little line there that shows where you can go to the website, and you can get biweekly watchdog alerts to learn more about frauds and scams and how to avoid them. There's a scam tracking map to learn more and share information on the latest scams in your area. And you also can sign up for the Fraud Watch watchdog alerts by texting FWN at 50757. And also, the helpline is a great resource. We have trained volunteers who can help you if you've been a victim or if you have questions, not sure if this is a scam or not. And you can call that number at 877-908-3360. That number is 877-908-3360. So we've got great information. Go to the website, sign up, and learn more. Joe, we also talk a lot about at ARP, and we do a lot of outreach for veterans, military, and their families. And through our Fraud Watch network, we have some great resources for veterans. And one of the worst scams we see out there are people taking advantage of our veterans. And there's probably a special place down south for folks that do that. And so, I've been really impressed with your work with veterans, but the veterans have a special place to your heart with your father and your mother. And I think that's a very important story to share, and especially as we celebrate the 77th anniversary of D-Day. And that really hits close home to you.
Well, it certainly does. My daddy was 19 years old, Army Infantry, 90th Tough Hombres Army, and the 389th Division of the 90th. And he attached to the 4th Army, was at the first wave on Utah Beach and on D-Day. So he won a Bronze Star, was awarded a Bronze Star for his valor on the beach. Then he fought 51 days actually, through the hedgerows, the bloody hedgerow fighting, and into St. Lo, France, where he was upset with a couple of machine gun nests that were holding his platoon down, and he took them out on his own, and was awarded a Silver Star for that. And the thing about my dad and my mom was Women's Army Corps WAC, man. She met him right after the war, and they married right away. They came home to Philadelphia in 1946 after the war. Daddy was in such bad shape mentally and physically that he spent 1.5 years in the Naval Hospital in Philadelphia. He finally got out in 1948, and him and my mom had a honeymoon, and then I was born. So that's my birthday.
Funny how that happens.
48, yeah. So, but the unique thing about my parents is, my mother especially, Daddy had a stroke at age 39, which was awful unfortunate because Daddy had a piece of shrapnel catch in his carotid artery, and it damaged his brain, permanent brain damage. And he was disabled the rest of his life. And my mom looked after him until the day they both passed away. And I got to tell you, man, my mother loved America. She loved the soldiers. She loved them all. I think when she married my father, she was marrying the whole doggone U.S. Army, to be honest, in her mind. And she cried when a flag went by. I was brought up that way. And they both rest in Arlington National Cemetery today. And because of her influence of what my daddy did, I try my best to do all I can to help with veterans and veterans causes. And so do the Oak Ridge Boys. It's all very close to our heart. In fact, as a side note, my grandson is now serving in our United States Navy, and he's 22 years old, and I'm very proud of him. But to think of people scamming our veterans, I think of my parents living in that row house in Philadelphia. And I think of what they had to go through there. It wasn't that kind of scam back in those days. There was no internet and so forth to really get a hold of you. But there were still people trying. And I think anyone who would abuse our veterans, old veterans, younger veterans, people who have paid the price and sacrifice for our freedom in this country, they deserve that place somewhere else, because it's one of the most evil things I think that can be done. And thank God that AARP Fraud Watch Network is doing their best to help our veterans and to keep them from being scammed and keep them from getting their precious hard-earned money taken away from them.
Well, Joe, working on behalf of ARP, working with you and the Oak Ridge Boys has been a great collaboration. And together, by having more partners and collaborators to help people to understand and educate them about frauds and scams, so it's so important. And we really value this partnership we have. But on the music front, got some big news: a new album released, and the 40th anniversary of Elvira.
40th anniversary. How crazy is that, man? 1981, we recorded Elvira. It came out and was a monster. For the whole year, it was a monster. For one whole year, the whole country was singing Papa Mau Mau with the Oak Ridge Boys. And you know what? They still are 40 years. And we have a new album. This is a blatant plug here, Sean. I brought it with me. It's called Front Porch Singing. There it is. And last year, in the very heart of the pandemic, we were home for 5 months. The only communication we had was business calls to make sure we kept our business going, because it was a year of sacrifice for everybody. And last August, we decided, man, we got to get in the studio. We've got to do something creative. We got to see each other. We got to be together. We've got to make some music together, because that's what the Oak Ridge Boys are. Well, we came up with this. The idea for Front Porch Singing with our young producer, Dave Cobb, was 4 guys sitting on the front porch singing old gospel songs, new gospel songs, old country songs, some new country songs, and we wanted to have something relevant. We wanted to sing songs that maybe in June, when this came out and the pandemic was ending, which we hope is happening right now. And here we are in June and the album's out. And already the response has been incredible. Songs like Love, Light, and Healing and Life is Beautiful and The Old Ways and Promised Land. Some of the great old gospel songs like Unclouded Day. People are being blessed by this album. I know it's blessing me, and it's really good to see. We did Love, Light, and Healing on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry a couple of weeks ago. For the first time, we had a full house at the Opry in a year and a half. Full capacity Grand Ole Opry, man. And we went out there and sang, we all need love, light, and healing, faith, family, and friends, and standing ovation, man, standing ovation. So I can tell we've got some songs on here that are going to bless people's hearts, especially as we ease out of this, hopefully, pandemic.
Great. Well, Joe, it's been awesome. And the partnership we've had the last few years has just been not only personally, because I'm a great big fan, but also professionally helping educate folks about frauds and scams for the Fraud Watch Network. And folks, if you go to the Fraud Watch Network at arp.org/Fraud Watch Network, here are a couple of great resources we have for our veterans, being able to identify those scams affecting our veterans, as well as the handbook, the Watchdog handbook alerts. So again, Joe, thank you for a great opportunity for us to connect and talk about one of those awful scams, imposter celebrity scams that are going on. And we're so glad to be able to provide everyone this up-to-date information. So join us again real soon, and you all have a great day. Thank you very much, and God bless you.